Recently, a heated debate has erupted among Donald Trump's supporters regarding the H-1B visa program, with notable figures like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy vigorously defending it. This discussion has highlighted a division within the MAGA Make America Great Again movement, pitting tech industry advocates against more traditional conservative views on immigration. Background of the H-1B visa program. The H-1B visa program allows U.S. employers to temporarily employ foreign workers in specialty occupations that require technical or theoretical expertise. Over the years, it has been a controversial topic in U.S. immigration policy, with proponents arguing that it helps fill gaps in the labor market, particularly in technology and engineering fields, while critics contend that it takes jobs away from American workers and depresses wages. Trump's support for H-1B visas. In a recent interview with the New York Post, Trump expressed his long-standing support for the H-1B program, stating, "I've always liked the visas, it's a great program." He cited his own use of H-1B visa holders in his various properties, contrary to the restrictive policies his administration attempted to implement during his first term, which faced legal challenges and were ultimately overturned. Musk and Ramaswamy's defense. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy have taken to social media to defend the H-1B visa program passionately. Musk, who is a prominent figure in the tech industry, argued that the U.S. lacks sufficient homegrown talent, stating that the number of super talented engineers in the country is far too low. He praised the program for attracting the top 0.1% of engineering talent and went as far as to declare that he would go to war over the issue, criticizing those in the Republican Party who oppose it as contemptible fools. Ramaswamy echoed Musk's sentiments, attributing the reliance on foreign talent to a cultural issue in America that venerated mediocrity over excellence. He suggested that the H-1B system is flawed and needs reform, but maintained that foreign workers significantly contribute to the U.S. economy. Counterarguments from MAGA adherents. Despite the defense from Trump allies, there has been significant backlash from other segments of the MAGA base. Prominent critics, including former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley and far-right figures like Laura Loomer and Steve Bannon, have vehemently opposed the H-1B program. Haley argued that American workers should be prioritized, stating, "We must invest in Americans first before looking elsewhere," and criticized the tech industry's reliance on foreign labor as lazy. This internal conflict highlights a broader ideological struggle within the Republican Party, where traditional conservative values often clash with the pro-business, pro-immigration stance of tech industry leaders. Social media clash and broader implications. The debate intensified on social media platforms, with Musk and Ramaswamy facing criticism not only from mainstream Republicans but also from far-right activists. Musk's remarks, which included strong language aimed at his critics, underscored the deepening rift within the party. He accused certain Republicans of being hateful, unrepentant racists, suggesting that their views could lead to the downfall of the party if not addressed. The controversy also led to accusations of censorship against Musk, as some conservatives claimed their accounts were restricted for expressing dissenting views about the H-1B program. This incident raises questions about the influence of tech leaders like Musk on political discourse and the future of the Republican Party. Conclusion. The ongoing debate over the H-1B visa program encapsulates a significant divide within the MAGA movement and the Republican Party at large. As Trump navigates the delicate balance between supporting his tech industry allies and addressing the concerns of his more traditional supporters, the implications for future immigration policy and party unity remain uncertain. The clash between the need for skilled labor in the tech sector and the desire to protect American jobs will likely continue to be a contentious issue leading into the 2024 elections and beyond. The recent defense of the H-1B visa program by Donald Trump and his allies, including Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, has generated significant counterintuitive discourse within the MAGA movement. This situation reflects a notable divergence from what has historically been the stance of many within this political base regarding immigration and labor. 1. Historical context versus current support. Trump, who previously attempted to limit the issuance of H-1B visas during his presidency, has now expressed strong support for the program. This shift is particularly striking given that his administration's restrictions were aimed at reducing the influx of foreign workers, a stance that resonated with many of his supporters who feared job losses to immigrants. The contradiction lies in the fact that Trump now claims a long-standing appreciation for the program, despite his earlier attempts to curtail it. 2. Cultural commentary. Ramaswamy's remarks criticizing American culture for favoring mediocrity over excellence is another layer of counterintuitive discourse. He suggests that the U.S. needs to embrace and attract foreign talent to enhance its competitive edge. This line of reasoning runs counter to the populist narrative that often portrays foreign workers as a threat to American jobs and culture. His assertion that H-1B visa holders contribute positively to the economy challenges the conventional anti-immigrant sentiment prevalent among a significant portion of Trump's base. 3. Musk's accusation of racism. Elon Musk's fiery response to critics within the Republican Party, whom he labeled as contemptible fools and hateful unrepentant racists, marks a significant departure from the more traditional rhetoric that characterizes the party's stance on immigration. Musk's call for the removal of these individuals from the party underscores a growing rift between the tech elite and the more hardline anti-immigration faction within MAGA circles. For market dynamics versus political ideology, Musk's emphasis on the lack of skilled American engineers and the need for H-1B visas to fill this gap highlights a tension between market demands and political ideology. He argues that the program attracts the top 0.1% of engineering talent, which suggests a pragmatic approach that prioritizes economic efficiency over nationalist sentiments. This view challenges the perception that support for H-1B visas is inherently unpatriotic or detrimental to American workers. 5. Criticism from within. The backlash from figures like Nikki Haley and Steve Bannon, who argue for investing in American workers rather than relying on foreign talent, indicates a significant ideological fracture within the MAGA movement itself. Their arguments reflect a traditional view that prioritizes American labor, contrasting sharply with the pro-H-1B stance taken by Trump and his tech-savvy allies. 6. Perception of elitism. The defense of the H-1B visa program by wealthy individuals such as Trump and Musk may be perceived by some MAGA supporters as elitist. Critics argue that these figures are more concerned with their business interests than the welfare of American workers, thus fueling skepticism among the base who feel left behind by globalization and the tech industry's demands. 7. Social media dynamics. The dispute has escalated in the digital realm, with Musk facing accusations of censoring critics. This situation adds another layer of complexity as it raises questions about free speech and the influence of tech moguls on political discourse. The irony here is that a figure like Musk, who promotes a platform for open dialogue, is simultaneously accused of stifling dissenting voices within his own political cohort. 8. Implications for the Republican Party. The internal conflict over the H-1B visa program may have broader implications for the Republican Party as it navigates the competing interests of traditional conservatives and the tech elite. The polarization within the party could potentially alienate segments of the electorate, complicating the party's ability to present a unified front leading into the 2024 elections. In summary, the robust defense of the H-1B visa program by Trump, Musk, and Ramaswamy stands in stark contrast to the traditional anti-immigrant sentiments that have characterized much of the MAGA movement. This scenario not only highlights internal contradictions but also raises critical questions about the future direction of the Republican Party and its relationship with both the tech industry and its base. The recent debate among Donald Trump's allies, particularly regarding the H-1B visa program, has revealed several nuanced aspects that many observers may overlook. While the conflict appears to revolve around immigration policy and economic implications, significant themes concerning the internal dynamics of the Republican Party, the influence of technology on politics, and broader cultural discussions are also at play. 1. Cultural underpinnings of the debate. Vivek Ramaswamy's assertion that American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence is a critical point that embodies a deeper cultural critique. This perspective is not just about immigration but reflects a broader concern about American values, education, and workforce development. Ramaswamy's comments suggest a belief that the U.S. should strive for a meritocratic society where hard work and achievement are prioritized over mediocrity. This notion is significant because it taps into the frustrations of many Americans who feel that societal values have shifted away from recognizing and rewarding excellence, potentially leading to a more profound discourse about education and workforce training in America. 2. The dichotomy within the MAGA base. The split within the MAGA community regarding the H-1B visa program highlights a fundamental tension between traditional Republican values of protectionism and populism versus the more globalist pro-business stance championed by figures like Trump and Musk. While many MAGA supporters align with a more hardline immigration stance, the support from tech billionaires for H-1B visas represents an elite perspective that prioritizes economic growth and innovation. This rift is significant as it showcases the evolving nature of Republican ideology, where economic interests may clash with the populist sentiments that initially energized Trump's base. 3. Trump's evolving position. Trump's contradictory stance on the H-1B program, from initially attempting to limit it to now openly supporting it, reveals the complexities of his political strategy. His alignment with Musk and Ramaswamy suggests a pragmatic approach that seeks to cater to influential business interests while also attempting to maintain support among his base. The significance of this shift lies in its potential to redefine Trump's image as a leader who can balance the needs of the tech industry with the concerns of his supporters, illustrating a possible recalibration of his policies as he prepares for a new term. 4. Elon Musk's role as a mediator. Elon Musk's involvement in this debate illustrates the increasing power of tech moguls in shaping political conversations. Musk's forceful defense of the H-1B program, characterizing the opponents as contemptible fools, not only positions him as a leading voice in favor of immigration reform but also highlights the growing intersection between technology and politics. Musk's influence raises questions about the extent to which billionaires can shape policy and public opinion, particularly in the context of a political party that traditionally caters to the working class. 5. Backlash against immigration policy. The resistance from figures like Nikki Haley and far-right activists underscores a critical aspect of the ongoing immigration debate: the fear among some voters that foreign workers are taking jobs from Americans. This perspective is rooted in economic anxiety but also reflects deeper societal fears about national identity and cultural change. The backlash is significant as it showcases the challenges faced by pro-immigration advocates within the party, highlighting the need for a more nuanced conversation about immigration that acknowledges these fears while promoting the economic benefits of skilled immigration. 6. Impact on future elections. The current debate on H-1B visas and the surrounding tensions within the Republican Party could have significant implications for future elections. As the party grapples with its identity, balancing the interests of traditional conservatives with the views of a newer, more diverse base, how it navigates issues like immigration will be pivotal. The significance lies in the potential for this debate to shape not only the party's platform but also its electoral strategies moving forward, particularly in an election year where immigration remains a hot-button issue. 7. The influence of social media. The role of social media in amplifying these debates cannot be overstated. Musk's Twitter, now known as X platform, serves as a battleground for these discussions, where opinions can quickly escalate into public confrontations. This environment allows for rapid dissemination of ideas, both supportive and critical of H-1B visas, influencing public perception and potentially swaying undecided voters. The significance of this dynamic is that it reflects a shift in how political discourse occurs in the digital age, where influential figures can directly engage with the public and reshape narratives in real time. Conclusion. The H-1B visa debate is more than a policy discussion, it encapsulates a myriad of cultural, ideological, and political dynamics within the Republican Party and American society at large. The tensions revealed by this discourse highlight significant issues regarding national identity, economic anxiety, and the evolving role of technology in politics. As Trump and his allies navigate these complex waters, the outcomes of this debate will likely reverberate through future elections and shape the broader narrative of Republican ideology in the years to come. 1. Trump's shifted stance on H-1B visas. Donald Trump's recent endorsement of the H-1B visa program marks a notable shift from his previous administration's attempts to restrict it. While he initially sought to limit the number of H-1B visas issued, he now embraces the program, citing personal experience with H-1B employees in his businesses. This evolution raises essential questions about the motivations behind Trump's pivot, particularly in light of his need to balance the interests of tech industry allies like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy against a more traditional Republican base that favors stricter immigration controls. 2. Elon Musk's advocacy and its implications. Elon Musk's vigorous defense of the H-1B visa program highlights the divide within the Republican Party regarding immigration policy. Musk argues that the U.S. lacks sufficient homegrown engineering talent and positions H-1B visas as crucial for attracting the top 0.1% of skilled labor. His remarks not only reflect a pragmatic approach to workforce needs in the tech sector but also underscore a growing rift between pro-immigration advocates and those who prioritize American jobs. Musk's influence as a billionaire and tech leader complicates the Republican narrative around immigration, suggesting that economic considerations may increasingly outweigh cultural or populist sentiments. 3. Cultural critique by Vivek Ramaswamy. Vivek Ramaswamy's comments regarding the American culture that he believes valorizes mediocrity over excellence serve as a critical lens through which to examine the ongoing immigration debate. His assertion that cultural values have led companies to hire foreign talent raises important discussions about national identity, meritocracy, and the role of immigration in American economic development. Ramaswamy's views, while controversial, challenge the narrative that solely frames immigration as a threat to American workers, suggesting instead that it may reflect deeper societal issues regarding workforce preparedness and cultural values. 4. The divisions within the MAGA movement. The backlash against Trump allies who support the H-1B program reveals significant fractures within the MAGA movement. Figures like Nikki Haley and Steve Bannon represent a faction that argues for prioritizing American workers and jobs, viewing H-1B visas as a threat to domestic employment. This internal conflict not only showcases divergent views on immigration policy but also reflects broader tensions within the Republican Party as it grapples with its identity and priorities in the context of the upcoming elections. The outcome of this debate could have lasting implications for the party's future direction and its electoral viability among various voter demographics. 1. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965. This pivotal piece of legislation transformed U.S. immigration policy by abolishing the national origins quota system that favored European immigrants. It allowed for a greater influx of immigrants from non-European countries, changing the demographic landscape of the U.S. The act faced significant opposition from conservative groups who feared it would undermine American jobs and culture. Similar to the current debates around the H-1B visa program and its impact on American workers. 2. The debate over the Bracero Program 1942 to 1964. This program was established during World War II to address labor shortages in agriculture and other sectors by allowing temporary Mexican laborers to work in the U.S. While it was initially beneficial for both American employers and Mexican workers, over time it faced criticism from American labor unions and politicians who argued it took jobs from American citizens and depressed wages. This mirrors the modern discussions around the H-1B visa program, where proponents argue for the benefits of skilled foreign labor while opponents highlight concerns over job displacement for American workers. 3. The controversy surrounding the guest worker program in the 2000s. during the early 2000s, debates around guest worker programs, particularly the proposed Comprehensive Immigration Reform Act of 2006, created a rift within the Republican Party. Business leaders supported the idea of bringing in skilled labor to fill gaps in the workforce, while many grassroots conservatives opposed it, arguing it would lead to job losses for American workers. This internal conflict is reminiscent of the current divide within the MAGA movement regarding the H-1B visa program, with tech advocates like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy on one side and more traditional conservatives on the other. Future outlook on H-1B visa debates and political implications. The ongoing debate surrounding the H-1B visa program, particularly among allies of Donald Trump, including high-profile figures like Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, is emblematic of broader tensions within the Republican Party and American society regarding immigration, labor, and economic policy. As we look to the future, several predictions can be made about the trajectory of this discourse, its impact on the political landscape, and the potential evolution of immigration policy in the United States. 1. Intensifying divisions within the GOP. The stark divide between the pro-tech, pro-immigration faction represented by Trump, Musk, and Ramaswamy and the more hardline anti-immigration segment, including figures like Nikki Haley and Steve Bannon, is likely to deepen. This rift could manifest in various ways, including primary challenges. As 2024 approaches, candidates who align with the more traditional nationalist elements of the GOP may challenge those who support H-1B visas. This could lead to divisive primaries where candidates must navigate the ideological waters between appealing to a tech-savvy base and maintaining support among hardline conservatives. Factionalism. The Republican Party may increasingly fracture into distinct factions, with a tech-oriented wing advocating for immigration reforms to attract talent, while a populist wing pushes back against perceived threats to American jobs. This could complicate unified messaging and policymaking. 2. Potential reforms to the H-1B program. Given the escalating debate, it is probable that the H-1B visa program will undergo significant reforms in the coming years. Reassessment of criteria. There may be a push to revise the criteria for H-1B visas to ensure that they genuinely attract the best and brightest. This could involve implementing more stringent qualifications and a merit-based system rather than the current lottery system, which has faced criticism for being arbitrary. Focus on domestic workforce. Concurrently, there might be increased pressure to invest in the domestic workforce with initiatives aimed at upskilling American workers. This could include government-sponsored training programs, partnerships with educational institutions, and incentives for companies to hire domestically. 3. Impact on the labor market. As the debate progresses, its impact on the labor market will be profound. Job creation and competition. The outcome of the H-1B visa program's future could either alleviate or exacerbate labor shortages in specific sectors, particularly technology and engineering. A balanced approach that incorporates skilled immigration while investing in local talent might help mitigate fears of job loss among domestic workers. Wage dynamics. If the program is reformed to limit the influx of foreign workers, it could lead to upward pressure on wages in certain industries. However, if the program remains robust, it may continue to keep wages in check, particularly for entry-level positions, which could create friction among American workers. 4. Political ramifications in upcoming elections. The H-1B visa debate will likely play a pivotal role in shaping the political landscape leading up to the 2024 elections. Voter mobilization. Candidates who can effectively navigate the complexities of immigration policy might mobilize significant voter bases. Those who advocate for a balanced approach that emphasizes both skilled immigration and investment in American workers may resonate with a broader electorate. Influence of tech leaders. Figures like Elon Musk will continue to exert influence over Republican candidates and policies. Their ability to sway public opinion and rally support may lead to a more favorable environment for immigration reforms conducive to attracting global talent. 5. Cultural shifts and public perception. The cultural perception of immigration and skilled workers is evolving. In the future, we may see increased acceptance of diversity, as discussions around the value of diverse talent continue. The narrative around immigration may shift towards recognizing the contributions of foreign workers in driving innovation and economic growth. Backlash against xenophobia. Should the anti-immigration rhetoric escalate, there may be a counter-movement that champions inclusivity and the benefits of a diverse workforce, which could reshape public sentiment and influence policy debates. Conclusion. The H-1B visa debate is not just about immigration, it reflects broader themes of economic strategy, labor relations, and cultural values in America. As this discourse unfolds, it will likely influence political alignments, labor market dynamics, and public attitudes toward immigration. Navigating this complex terrain will require careful consideration from policymakers, business leaders, and political candidates alike as they seek to balance the needs of the economy with the concerns of their constituents. The future of the H-1B visa program, therefore, stands as a critical lens through which to view the evolving landscape of American politics and society.